Hey guys, today we're getting a first drive in the 2023 Toyota GR Corolla. We are in a Core Edition, which is going to be the most mass-produced version of the GR Corolla. It looks like we have the Climate package, the Tech package, and the Performance package. That includes the front and rear differentials. We've got heated seats. This is the cloth interior for the GR Corolla Core Edition. The Morizo and the Circuit have Alcantara seats, which are very nice. We got a little place to put our phone right here, wireless CarPlay, and a pretty potent performance all-wheel drive hot hatch. Let's walk you around this. We'll give you some specs and information, and we'll take it for a quick drive. So, we've done a bunch of walk-arounds. You've all heard all the information, but let's just quickly glaze over some specs. 1.6 liter turbocharged 3-cylinder engine that makes 300 horsepower and 273 pound-feet of torque. The Morizo edition makes a little bit more, 295 pound-feet of torque. We have 235/40 R18 Michelin Pilot Sport 4S tires on 18-inch wheels, a little bit of sidewall, 3 exhaust outlets, natural engine sound in the cabin, no piped-in noise. You're going to hear this 3-cylinder purr away, and it actually sounds pretty good in my opinion. Really nice-looking hot hatch, stiffened considerably over the normal Corolla. We have a much stiffer chassis, wider, pretty long wheelbase though. You can see the wheels are really pushed out to the corners. It has a selectable all-wheel drive system that you can choose between 50-50 torque split front and rear for track driving. Normal is 60-40 front rear, and there is even kind of a more fun mode that does a 30-70 torque split. Here's what the trunk looks like. We've got lots of all-wheel drive stuff going on in the back, so our load height is a little bit higher, and it looks like there isn't room for a spare tire. We also get our 12-volt battery back here. Still though, practical enough for a hot hatch. You can make the case for this as a family vehicle, which I love. Back seats a little Spartan, a little tight. Seated behind myself at 5'10". I fit back here. There's enough room. I even have a good 3 inches of headroom, which is nice. Little water bottle slot back here, but it definitely feels bargain basement Corolla in the back seats. That's kind of where it ends though, because the rest of this front seat is focused on driving. We have a 6-speed manual transmission, a mechanical handbrake, simplified controls. Everything is really easy to see. It is piping hot out today. We're at Utah's Motorsport Campus just outside Salt Lake, and we've got a little bit of a road, a street-like test route for you today. We're not taking this out on the street just yet, but let's take this thing for a drive. We'll hop up front, show you around a little bit. Rated for about 24 miles to the gallon combined. This is a true driver's car. We have so much great tech here with this all-wheel drive system. This 3-cylinder sounds great. It makes pretty good power too. Curb weight on this is about 3160 thereabouts for the Core Edition. Core is a little bit lighter than the Circuit. We have active rev matching, which defaults when you turn on the car to off, so you have to enable that if you want it. And it looks like we've got adaptive cruise control, lane keep assist. That's pretty clever. That's really nice, something I wasn't quite expecting. I guess that's where the Tech package comes in. We have pretty simplified controls here for our climate. Hot day today, so we're utilizing that to its max without reducing audio quality. We've got Toyota's latest infotainment here. We've got a few different drive modes. Eco, normal. You can see those have a traditional round tachometer, and sport and custom mode. Custom you can set to a bunch of different individual settings where you can configure steering, powertrain, and air conditioning between normal and sport mode. Or we're just going to kind of play between normal and sport today, I think. We've done a bunch of driving in this GR Corolla on track, spent quite a bit of time behind the wheel pushing it to its limits. Like I said earlier, we've got our all-wheel drive settings, 60-40, 50-50, and 30-70. You control those right here with this little selector. If you put this GR Corolla in sport mode, you'll get this kind of non-linear gauge cluster that gives you high res above 4,000 RPM and 5,000 to 7,000. You can see your revs a little bit better when you're driving quickly on track, which is cool. Shifter feels nice and precise, beautiful short shifts. Gates are very clear. The active rev matching works pretty well. Pretty standard reverse camera. Driving position is excellent. I can get nice and low in the seat, something that I know was a pretty big complaint with the GR Yaris. I can get nice and low in this GR Corolla, and these cloth seats have a ton of grip to them. Nice little GR badging up here too. For $36,900 base price on this Core Edition, pretty good value in my opinion. You get one of these loaded with the performance pack, the cold weather pack, the tech if you want it, and still be a little bit less than the Circuit Edition. Destination's about $1,000, maybe a little bit more than that. So a little bit cheaper than I was thinking. The Morizo and the Circuit a little bit more than I was thinking, but for a Core model, I think this is pretty good pricing too. All right, so let's start off normal drive mode. We'll see how this does in some slower speed conditions, and then we'll push it around. We've got some autocross type driving scenarios on this route today too. So, super easy to drive. Really nice, easy clutch engagement. I love the way this turbo 3-cylinder sounds. It makes some fun noises. Looking out for track safety vehicles here. A little bit of blow-off sound between gears. Tons of bite from the brake pedal in this GR Corolla. Steering is tight. A lot of traction, a lot of performance from this car. All right, let's do a little acceleration run. Sport mode, traction control off. You can one press it, it'll put you in expert mode, or you can press and hold for a few seconds. Expert will turn off, and that should be full off. Traction and stability. All right, off we go. Acceleration here isn't blowing me away, but I would say it's enough power. We're gonna put us into 30-70 torque split here on the Slalom. It's a really accurate and easy car to drive at the limit. Zero issues pushing this car around corners. Pretty good steering feel too. Engine comes alive after about 3,500 RPM or so. It is a motor that likes to rev. And on a bumpier section of road, rides pretty nice too. All right, so this whole time I've been doing my rev matching myself, my heel-toe downshifts myself. Let's see how this IMT system works. We'll do another quick launch here. So 0 to 60. Top of second is just at 60 miles per hour. Downshifting with IMT. Does a pretty good job. It's nice and smooth. It's a good system. This engine never really comes alive with its power level, but it's a pretty linear torque curve. And the rest of this car is so good to drive. I'm not really wanting for that much more power. And of course in Europe, we've been seeing people tune these engines to really quite impressive power levels on stock internals. So I'm sure there's always a little bit of massaging you can do in the aftermarket. Right now we're in track mode, 50-50 torque split front and rear. Let's see how this does. Little autocross scenario, nice. This really rotates beautifully with traction off. Let's test the brakes. Really easy to modulate this pedal. Oh, there is a ton of bite here. Fun car to drive on track, and I think this is going to be a really fun daily as well. Let's putter around here just a little bit. We'll put us down into normal drive mode, take us out of track, and we'll put this into 60-40 split. The suspension is really well tuned. This manual transmission is just a joy to row through the gears. It's notchy, just the right amount of throw. I like the shape and feel of this shift knob. The leather on the steering wheel feels really nice too. And I've got to say, I'm not really noticing, I've driven everything today. I've driven the Morizo edition, I've driven the Circuit edition. From behind the wheel, there's a lot less of a difference driving these Corolla GRs, at least between the core and the Circuit. I'm barely noticing a difference. The Morizo, you can feel the extra torque, you can feel the different gearing, you can feel the stickier Pilot Sport Cup tires on that car, and the lighter weight. It's about 100 pounds, about 80 pounds less than this core, and about 100 pounds less than the Circuit edition. The Morizo is pretty light, but it does away with a back seat. And again, this is probably what most people are going to be getting their hands on. Exciting stuff, guys. This GR Corolla is really something special. I like it more than the Focus RS. It takes some of that harshness out of the driving experience. It makes it just a little bit more of a palatable car to live with on a daily basis. The inputs, everything here is really fun to drive.
Going again?
If it's okay, I'm just going to do one more lap. I think it makes a really good noise. I like the steering feel, I like the shifter. It's an easy manual transmission to drive. If you want rev matching to be enabled, you can do that. All of my driving settings are within reach and quickly configurable. Toyota's GR division is absolutely killing it right now. They just came out with a manual Supra too. Between this, the GR86, and the manual Supra, Toyota kind of has all the bases covered, which is pretty impressive. I will say this GR Corolla isn't quite the hoon machine that I was expecting. It's very planted, very stable. On track, on the street, this isn't something you're going to be able to upset really and get sideways and slide around too much. In the winter though, in the snow, you'll probably be able to have some fun. I like this linear gauge cluster. And it's cool how the tach shows you when you're getting close to red line with that yellow red indicator. There it is. Rev matching can be a little bit slow to respond sometimes, but that's okay. All right, off we go through the slalom. Just a fun car to hustle around. Makes some good noises too. When you're really hustling this, the IMT rev matching can be a little bit lazy sometimes, but you can always give it a helping foot with a little bit of a blip. Pedals are beautifully placed for heel toe. Brake pedal is nicely calibrated to accommodate that too. You don't have to get super deep into the pedal. Overall, I came into this drive this week with pretty high expectations. I've got to say this drives better than I was anticipating. I am so glad Toyota isn't piping in fake noise into this GR Corolla. It sounds authentic, it feels special, it's snappy, it's peppy, it's responsive, it's got that fizz. It's got that satisfying feel to it behind the wheel. And I think people are going to have a lot of fun with these cars. Fully disable traction control. Looks like we have to come to a complete stop. right. Quick to change direction. Ooh, and there's a nice amount of lift-off oversteer in 30/70 mode off throttle. I like that. We're gonna go do some more track driving now that I figured out how to completely turn off traction and stability control. See what this really feels like at some higher limits. If you guys haven't already seen the videos, check out some of the track driving impressions that I've posted or will post. Not sure when this video will come out in relation to those. But anyway, not an authentic street drive, nothing like our normal content. We'll get our hands on one of these back in Michigan at some point and hopefully spend some time in this in the winter on a set of snow tires. I think this is just going to be the ideal do-it-all hot hatch. There really isn't a whole lot of stuff like this on sale anymore. The Golf R is a great performer, but it lacks the tactility and the visceral nature of this GR Corolla, and the infotainment is a ridiculous mess and disaster in that car. This keeps it simple. Oh, I love it. I have kind of a light reservation on one of these at a dealer, actually the same dealer that I bought my BRZ at, and I'm kind of lower down on a list. But if a GR Corolla came up with the performance pack and maybe even the cold weather pack, I would be very tempted to get my hands on one and spend some time in it, especially this winter. Okay guys, we're gonna leave it at that. Thanks for watching. Let me know if you have any questions in the comments. Also, pulling the handbrake disconnects the rear drive unit. So you can do handbrake turns in this thing. Major skids. That's always fun. It does make a little bit of a beeping noise telling you to release the parking brake, but that's okay. I love it. All right, that's going to be it for this one. Thanks for watching. We'll see you guys in the next video. Look at that GR stop start logo too right there. Proper stuff. Nice little place here to put your phone too. It's just perfectly sized for the lower model iPhones, the smaller size. Here's some specs on this exact car. Starting MSRP $35,900. Prices equipped plus destination $39,870. So you can get into one of these under 40 grand, fully loaded. All right, guys, that's it for this one. Thanks for watching. We'll see you later.